So instead of being like a butt person, you'll be into like livers or kidneys. I absolutely love the characters. Like oh my god, the characters. This is unhinged. I don't know whether it's because I'm not a true crime girly. Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be doing a mini readathon for however long it takes me over the next week or so, hopefully only a few days because I really want to hurry up and finish these reading challenges. In case you haven't heard, I am one of the hosts for this round of the Breath of the Wildathon, which was originally made by Kaz from Little Book Owl, and I'm so excited for it because I mean it's a readathon. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games of all time. Like I'm so excited. I cannot wait. However, I have never done any of the previous rounds for the Breath of the Wild readathon. I've wanted to, I've watched all the videos, but I just never have ended up with the time, like every time it happens, and it sucks. So that means I haven't got a specific perk for this newer round of the readathon, which I know is going to annoy me because I'm a mood reader. So in this video I'll be doing a repeat of round 1.5, which is the Great Plateau. So what that means for this video is that I'll be reading 3 books which meet 3 of 5 of the challenges in order to get said perk. Basically, I just really want the glider perk just so I can read in whatever order I want and do the challenges in whatever order I want. So the first challenge is the Shrine of Resurrection, which is share your readathon TBR. The other challenge is to participate in a reading sprint. So I'll be hosting my own reading sprint over the next few days. So I'll just make my own happen, so that's fine. I'll be doing that over on my Twitch channel, which I'll also plug here. For the actual books that I'll be reading, the first challenge is the Bomb Trial. So this is to read a hyped or highly recommended book. And for this book, I'm really excited because it literally arrived on my doorstep this morning. I've decided to read Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am so hyped for this. I had this pre-ordered and I was like, is it gonna arrive? Because I never got an email and it's finally arrived and I'm so happy. So I got the beautiful Waterstones edition. It's signed and everything and it's just stunning. So I have heard so many good things about this. I know this was one of the most hyped books I feel of 2022 anyway, and I'm really excited for it and I've heard really, really good things so far. So this is like a high fantasy, dark academia setting in Oxford University. The second challenge is to read a book with a romantic plot or subplot, and for this one I'm going to be reading Love in the Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. I'm really excited for this one because this is about Phoebe, whose dad has recently passed away, so she moves back into the house that she grew up in with him. Phoebe is also really obsessed with true crime, like she's even doing her PhD on it, and she suspects that her neighbor might be a serial killer. Now, I don't know if she has anything to actually base this off of or whether she's just like overly suspicious, but I'm assuming they fall in love. And I think it's going to be a fun time. So I'm really, really excited for this one as well, and I cannot wait. The final challenge is to read a book that will give you chills. So this one I found a little bit difficult to try and choose, but I've decided to pick up Out There by Kate Falk, and this is a short story collection, but it's a short story collection of like really kind of fucked up and weird stories, and I think I'm gonna love it. I think I'm really, really gonna love it. Apparently a lot of the stories in here are just really absurd, really strange, quite unsettling as well. So I think this is, at least I hope a few of these are a good pick for this prompt anyway. But regardless, I think this is going to be a very creepy and interesting sort of read. And also it'll be nice to just like be able to read like 1 or 2 short stories a day until I finish it. So this is my TBR for this video. I am hoping to get through these pretty quickly over the next few days. I am quite busy with like work and other stuff, but I am hoping to, you know, get through a chunk of these, so we'll see. But I'm really excited for all of them, and Babel's just so pretty. I cannot deal with like this book. Like, look at the spine. I'm I'm obsessed with this. I'm so happy this arrived. So I do have work starting soon, which is a really late shift compared to usual, which sucks. So I won't have much time to read then. However, I'm going to get a early start on that before I head off to work, and then I have a day off tomorrow, so hopefully I can get a bunch of reading done then. I kind of want to start with Babel just because I'm really excited for it, and as soon as this arrived in the mail, I'm like, perfect. I feel like reading it. I'm in the mood for it. It fits one of the prompts. Like, I think I'm gonna read this straight away just because I'm so hyped for it. So yeah, I will see you very soon. Hello everybody. So last update I think was just the introduction of this vlog. So I have read, how many pages? Apparently 5. It feels like more. Not in a bad way. Of Babel. I've barely started apparently, but so far I'm really liking the writing style. So with like R of Kwang, I've always wanted to read The Poppy War. I've got the first book. I don't have any of the other books, and I just never ended up starting it for some reason, and I don't know why. So this is my first book by her, and if I really love it, maybe I'll just have to finally pick up The Poppy War. I am about to stream, so I decided to do some reading sprints tonight. So that's not only for this kind of vlog challenge, but also like I did stock take at work last night, and my body is so sore. I didn't get home until like 12:30 or like midnight, maybe like closer to 12:30, like in the morning, and I was like dead exhausted today. My whole body is sore, my mind is tired, so I'm going to start that really soon. I'm going to make a cup of tea first and get cozy, and then get started on stream. I will update you after stream and let you know how many pages I finished. Hopefully I get through a decent chunk tonight. I'm really looking forward to reading sprints. I have not done them on stream for like a few months now, so I'm actually really excited about it. Hello everybody. Hello everybody, so a little update. So I am, how many pages? 173 pages into Babel. Is it Babel or Babel? Like in here there's reference to the students as babblers, which makes me think it's Babel, but I've always pronounced it as Babel. If you say it a particular way, please let me know down below, because I don't actually know how to say it. But anyway, I am, yeah, 173 pages into this. I am in love with this book. It is so good and so addictive, and even with the start of the book being like, you know, a little bit more slow paced, like there's not too much happening yet. It's mostly just the main characters and the cohort of students kind of learning, and there's a lot of, you could probably describe it as like info dumpy, but I don't find it too bad or like too annoying. There's a lot of information and kind of like factoids about language and etymology and stuff like that, and I can see that being a little bit boring for some people because it does take up a good portion of the book, but I am enjoying it so much. Like, it is so interesting and so well written. I love Robin as a character. I don't have like any strong opinions about the secondary characters apart from like Rami. I love Rami as well, but I mean, I'm less than 200 pages in and I've still got like 300 pages to go at least, and I am so addicted to this. I have been listening to the audiobook for this as well as physically reading it. Sometimes I'll be listening to the audiobook like when I'm at work, but for the most part I've been like listening and reading physically like at the same time, and it has been elite. It's been so good, like the best way to read it in my opinion. All I want to do is read this book, but I have been so busy lately, like especially with work and everything as well, and there are things outside of work and it's just been a little bit hectic lately. But I have a couple of days off tomorrow and the day after, and all of my plans just involve reading and like filming videos, so I think that should be really good and I should get a chunk done. But I think for now I'm gonna take a little bit of a break from Babel. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but I just really want to start another book. So I'm going to read a couple of stories from Out There by Kate Folk. This one's not too long either, so I think this book will be like a nice little like intermission sort of book. And yeah, I'm so excited for this. And oh my god, I love this book so much. I feel like this is going to be an easy like 5 out of 5 stars for me, just because I am so in love with it. It is so good and so well written, and I'm like, oh my god. There are so many amazing discussions of colonialism and racism, specifically in academia and in Britain. There's like a secondary group that's like outside of the school and they're like against the school, and we haven't learned too much about them, but I'm very, very curious, and I think we're going to get to know that group more. I don't know what role they'll play later on. I have a feeling, but like I don't know for sure, and I don't want to spoil this. So I am going to put that down just for now and take a little break, and I'm going to read a couple of stories from Out There, which I'm really excited for. I cannot wait for this. And I'm feeling like a few short stories, so I'll give you another update really, really soon. So another update, I am still obsessed with Babel and I am up to like page 226, so I am getting, I mean, sort of like close way to the halfway mark. For some reason I thought this was gonna be a part of a series, but it doesn't seem to be according to like Goodreads or anything. And I was reading and I was like, wow, this is like really fast paced, because we like not super quickly go through like a few years of them at the school, but you know, like I feel like years like 2 and 3 go by pretty quickly in comparison to like the first year at the institution. But I am not mad about it. I'm still really, really enjoying it, and it doesn't feel too quick. Like it feels like a natural progression still, and it's definitely just so we can, you know, get the ball rolling on other aspects of the story, I suppose. But yeah, I'm still really loving the discussions of racism and colonialism and how it impacts the students that they bring in to actually do the studying on behalf of Britain in this book. It's sort of like an alternate history, but also like not really, because I feel like the silver revolution in this world is just like a direct parallel from the industrial revolution. While there's obviously magic, you can really see like direct influences from actual historical events, which makes sense, like it's a historical fiction as well. But I think it's really well written. I'm really, really enjoying this, and I'm having like so much fun reading it. Like I am straight up addicted to this book, and I think it might be one of my favorites for the year because I am just obsessed. I can't stop thinking about it. In the meantime, I do have an update about Out There by Kate Folk. This is unhinged, like truly. This is so fucking weird, but I love it. This has 15 short stories altogether, and I am up to story 6, and so far I have given every single story a minimum of 4 stars. and a lot of them 5 stars. They are very, very strange. I mean, it says that it's strange on the synopsis, and I've heard it's strange, and that's why I picked it up. But like, reading it, it's just, I adore this author's writing, and I was looking it up, and I don't think she has any other work out yet, which is unfortunate, but I think she's bringing out like a full novel eventually. It says it vaguely on her website anyway. So I've been keeping track of like the stories I've been reading so far. The titular story out there is a weird story about these like artificial or AI men called blots, who are made by a foreign military, and they infiltrate like dating apps and everything like that. And so the women who date these men end up having to like watch out for what would normally be a green flag when you're dating a man. So if he's like really, really nice to you, or like really cares, or like listens to what you say, like all of these things that you would normally want in a man, like when you're on the dating scene, is actually a red flag in this book, because they're gonna steal your data, they're gonna steal your money, like everything. And it's just, it was so good. It was really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. My favorite story so far in this is out there, and there's one called Heart Seeks Brain, which I absolutely loved. It's very, very weird. It basically explores a world in which people are attracted to other people's internal organs as opposed to external beauty features. So instead of being like a butt person, you will be into like livers or kidneys and want like a specific like size liver, or like it's so weird. It is so bizarre, but it's probably my favorite of the collection, like so far. The most recent one I read though was Shelter, which was also the longest one I think of the book so far, apart from Out There. And I don't even know how to describe that one. That one was very, very twisted and made me feel very uncomfortable by the end, but I am addicted to this. Like Kate Folk's Mind, like oh my god, it feels like I'm reading like a novelized version of Junji Ito's manga. I think if you're a fan of Junji Ito and the weirdness of his stories and his manga, I think you would enjoy this one. It's obviously very different because they're short stories as opposed to manga, but they're the same kind of vibe, and I love it. I think it's so great so far. I think I'm gonna read like a couple more of these tonight, and then I'm going to continue with Babel, and hopefully I finish those. So yeah, that's my little update. This readathon has gone a little bit longer than I anticipated. Like, it's not like super long, but I just thought I would get more reading done, but also I have been very busy with work. So I'm aiming to try and finish this vlog in the next day or so, and then I'll update you and hopefully get my glider perk. Hi, so I've just gotten back from the shops, and it's my partner's birthday today, and he really doesn't like celebrating birthdays, or like doesn't want it to be a big deal. So I've just gotten him a cake from the Cheesecake Factory, which I'm so excited about because I haven't had a Cheesecake Factory cheesecake in the longest time. So I got him a lemon meringue one, and then I got myself like a little like strawberry slice. While I was at the shops, I actually got some reading done. So I got through 2 more short stories in Out There, and again, they're really, really weird. They just continue to be really weird, but I'm really, really loving them. I also got a little bit further into Babel, and it's starting to get really, really interesting with the relationships between the like main friendship group. There's one white girl in the group who obviously has never experienced racism, never experienced the microaggressions that the other characters have, because the other characters are Chinese, there's an Indian Muslim, and the other girl is black. And so they experience this shit all the time, and the white girl just will not listen to them. Obviously those three characters experience a lot of racism, and not even just microaggressions, like just straight up aggressiveness, and it's really, really disgusting to read about, but also like this is an everyday thing for them. And the contrast between those three and the white girl in their group, it's written so well, because as a reader, like, you know that she has more privilege than the others, but the way that R.F. Kuang has written that into the story and into the dialogue is just really, really well done, I think. And I'm just really, really enjoying their interactions, and I'm intrigued to see like what happens between all of their dynamics, like their relationship dynamics. So for now, I'm going to sit down, have my cheesecake, and possibly watch like a booktube video and then continue reading. Oh, I also forgot to tell you, I was just looking through my bag and like organizing my stuff, but I went to the bookstore, of course, because I couldn't help myself, and I got this really cute card for my partner. So it just has a little pretzel and it says "I heart you," which I thought was really cute. And I decided to pick up 2 books as well. So I ended up getting Kindred by Octavia E. Blake, and I've heard so many good things about Octavia Blake in general, and for some reason, like, I always see Octavia E. Butler's writing, but I feel like Kindred's always sold out, but I actually saw it today, which was really nice. And then I decided to pick up a volume 1 of Chainsaw Man because the anime comes out soon. I've heard so many good things about this. Like, all of my friends who have like read the manga already love this, so I'm very hyped for it. Apparently it's very, very good, and I've been wanting to read it before the anime comes out, I think in October, so I'll be reading that one pretty soon. But now I'm actually going to eat my cheesecake because I just forgot to show you those things. So now I'll see you later. Hello everybody. So it's been a little while since my last update, but I have finished Fable and I absolutely loved it. I didn't end up giving too many updates while I was reading this, just because I was like so addicted and so enthralled while reading the entire time. Like, I could not get enough of this. The pacing of this for me personally was perfect, just because it was like, it was slow in all the right areas, but it also felt really fast paced, because it feels like by the end of this book that you have lived a lifetime with these characters, and I'm so attached to every single one of them. I feel like some of the plot lines that took place were a little bit predictable. Like, I felt like I knew that something similar to those were coming, like from kind of the first like 200 pages or so, but like some of the plot twists like completely took me out. Like, I was not expecting some of the stuff that happened during this book, and it was such an experience from like start to finish. Obviously, because Robin and his friends go to a school for translation, there's a lot of talk about linguistics and translation specifically as well, and language and the intricacies of that, and kind of all of those little details. And I feel like it could have gotten muddied down in it. It didn't feel that way to me. I feel like some people might think it was too much or too overbearing with those aspects, but for me personally, I really, really loved that and enjoyed learning about that, and I found it absolutely fascinating, and it did not like hamper the reading experience for me personally at all. There was a lot of world building that took place within this book, but I really, really enjoy that aspect of fantasies, and I don't mind if it's like overdone a little bit much. Like, in here there's like footnotes and stuff as well that kind of like explain some things, so if you don't like footnotes in books, just keep that as a heads up. Like, there are footnotes throughout this. A lot of the discussions around colonialism and racism in this book that took place, I thought were really well done, but I feel like some people might think it's a little on the nose, because like, I can kind of understand why, I suppose, but like also I feel like it's not really talked about in books at all, and I think that's a really important thing to see in books and to see actually actively discussed and dissected in books as well. And honestly, it made the story so much richer for me. I absolutely love the writing. I absolutely love the characters. Like oh my god, the characters and their friendships. I was so attached to that friend group by the end, and I feel like I'm still like in that world. Like they felt so realistic to me. They felt so authentic and like real people. This made me feel so many things, and yeah, I'm so happy that I decided to read this one straight away for this readathon. I am partway through Out There by Kate Folk. I'm almost done with it. I am flying through the short stories. It is like the most bizarre thing I've ever read in my life, but I am in love with it. I've now read a few short story collections this year that I really enjoyed, and I am so on the lookout for more. Like I am so excited about reading short story collections now, and I'm like actively looking them up, and I'm so excited about so many. And Out There, I think, is definitely one of my new favorites. So tonight I think I'm going to finish Out There, and then I'm going to finish Love in the Time of Serial Killers, hopefully. I'm not too far through that book so far, but I'll be honest, I'm not really vibing with it. I don't know whether it's because I'm not a true crime girly. Like I get it, but I don't have that fascination with it, and I don't really get that intrigued by it at all. And so I feel like a lot of the references so far, it's very on the nose with, you know, relating true crime to the romance, obviously, which I fully expect. That's the thing. I feel like when you read a romance that has a very obvious theme, like true crime, or what's another one, book lovers, like, you know, you kind of expect those tropes and the things the characters say to be relevant to that theme, because like it just makes it more fun, right? But I don't know whether it's, yeah, because I don't like true crime, or whether it's just poorly done, but I'm not really vibing with it so far. Don't really care for the main character or what's being said. I'm gonna see how I go, but I'm not really feeling it right now, but hopefully I enjoy it a little bit more. I will see you very soon for probably what might be one of the last clips of this vlog, because I haven't been vlogging much, and the readathon is almost over for me, and then the Breath of the Wild readathon starts like super soon. So I need to finish this and get my glider perk. So I will see you like super soon. I'm gonna get some reading done, and yeah. Hello, I have finished Out There by Kate Folk. I love this. So I feel like I want to say that before this, Shoko Smile was my favorite short story collection. Now this is my favorite short story collection ever. Maybe one of my favorite books as well, because I loved every single story in here so much. And it was really cool because like the first and the last story kind of like connected together in some ways, which was really cool. Since then I have continued on with Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I'm up to page 193. Not gonna lie, I'm still bored. So I think I said last time that maybe I'm just bored because I'm not a true crime girly, and I still think that's true. Like the characters are fine, but I'm not really invested in them. I'm not really attached to the love interest or the main character. I don't really care about anything that's going on. Like it feels like a slow burn, which normally I would love because I love slow burns, but it's only like 300 and something pages, and like barely anything has happened yet. I really wanted to like this. I mean, hopefully I'll like it later on, but I think the premise is just so fun, and the main character is a fat girl and is like a PhD student. She's doing her PhD and her dissertation on the true crime genre, but it's, I mean, it's not the worst. It's not the worst. It's feeling like a 2, maybe 3-star read at this point. I don't really know how I'm going to go, but hopefully I finish this one really soon and we'll wrap up this reading vlog. Hopefully I'll enjoy the end of this, but I really don't know how I'm gonna go. Hello everybody. So it has been a while since I did my final update for this vlog. So I ended up finishing Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I settled on like a 2.5 3-star rating for this just because like it was fine, but I was pretty bored for most of it. I liked the characters enough, but I didn't really care about their relationship. There just wasn't enough actually happening for me to kind of really root for them. And you know, like, we're told from the character's perspective at the end of the book that, you know, they've had all these amazing times together and, you know, it's been such a wonderful summer. I feel like the actual interactions that we got to read between the main couple wasn't actually that many interactions, or like if we did read about the interactions, they weren't that meaningful, and it didn't come across as meaningful. Anyway, I didn't mind it. Like, it was fine, but it wasn't my favorite. Like, I wasn't like swooning. I didn't particularly care about the characters. I didn't particularly care about the plot. I was honestly more invested in Phoebe's brother and his relationship with his girlfriend, and they're side characters. Like, I cared more about them as a couple than I did Sam and Phoebe. With the true crime aspect of this book, I do think if I was into it, I would have enjoyed this more. So if you're into that, you'll probably get more out of this than I did. I wasn't really vibing with it. It wasn't for me. So that wraps up this vlog. So I gave 5 out of 5 stars to Babel. Loved this so much. 5 out of 5 stars to Out There, and then yeah, like a 2.5 to Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I'm very glad that I finished this reading challenge and this mini kind of readathon, because now I have the glider perk, because the Breath of the Wildathon has actually already started by the time that I am wrapping up this vlog. I am thinking about vlogging each week for the month of October. I think that'll be really fun. I'll leave all of the details for the readathon and all my socials down in the links below, and I hope you have a fantastic day and look after yourselves. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later.